is Robert Neville. I'm a survivor living in New York City.
The Brooklyn Bridge. First opened back in 1883. It's a combination cable-stayed and suspension bridge, arguably the most famous in the world. Well, if this is your first time here, a big welcome. And if it's not, a bigger welcome back. In this pretty well-timed video, we're going to be exploring the New York City filming locations for I Am Legend, the Will Smith sci-fi thriller that was shot, amazingly shot, throughout the city by closing down one street at a time in the summer months, shooting very early on Sunday mornings with coordination of the Bloomberg office. It's just, from a production standpoint alone, it's just an amazing feat what these filmmakers and cast and crew were able to pull off. So without further ado, let's go check out these filming locations to see what they look like today. It's going to be a lot of work, but I like that. Awesome if you get those related references, which have absolutely nothing to do with this movie. Now the action begins with that cinematic aerial shot and the sweet sound of the Shelby model Mustang GT500 echoing throughout an empty Manhattan. Times Square was not possible to control as a set for practical filming, so that needed to be shot in one of the two armories used as makeshift sound stages for this movie. Almost everything you see during this sequence was created digitally. So the buildings and the rest of the environment you see were created 3D. Photography was used to help gauge the geometry and texture of the buildings. So then they use matte paintings with computer-generated effects in order to achieve the end result. Now, the Neville residence was all created on a soundstage inside the Marcy Avenue Armory in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. That I know for sure. Will Smith really got into character for this role. I would say that this is my second favorite movie he's done. Next to Independence Day, of course. That's got to be my favorite. Soul Cycle now. It was a Tower Video.
Hey! Good morning, Marge. Morning, Fred. You guys doing?
See if Fred and Marge would have been standing right here. Can't get inside right now. But you can see this right across the street as he enters.
See you guys inside.
Right there. But you see a fire hydrant in the shot as well. That's now almost half under cement from the construction that was done right here. You see the fire hydrant right there. Look at that. Not too much left. Because again, of all the construction that went on covering it up. But here's where you see that shot. You'll see these buildings look familiar, and of course the Manhattan Bridge. That is part of the Manhattan Bridge right there. Here at Broadway and Pike Street. Right here where the ramps are, you'll see all this. You know, one shot or another when Will Smith is headed out to the barge. Again, that was connected right here alongside, right alongside the Brooklyn Bridge, out onto the, right out onto the East River here. HIVE'S 2002, that's pretty amazing. That might have been one of them that was connected over here temporarily. I remember seeing the name HIVE'S. Right now that's surrounding the pier, of course, but interesting. broadcasted every day when the sun was highest in the sky. Trying to let anyone that might be listening know that he was alive and well, and he could provide anything they needed to assist them if there were anyone else out there. Being the last man alive, interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. It's something that at one time or another we've all thought about. What would you do? Where would you go if you were the last person on Earth? Now, ultimately, Will Smith's character, Robert Neville, was not the last person on Earth, but as far as he knew, he was most likely. Incredible. I mean, in hindsight, Dr. Crippen, who thought she discovered the cure, the miracle cure for cancer, which was a very noble undertaking, of course, she might have wanted to extend the clinical trials a bit there. At the very least, come up with a better disclaimer. Oh boy. Side effects may include increased aggression, loss of hair, inhuman behavior, oh, and sensitivity to light. All right, enough horsing around. That's where Will Smith's character, Robert Neville, is teeing off. Right there off the tail wing of the Blackbird, which was a long-range, high-altitude strategic reconnaissance plane that is long since retired. On top of the flight deck of the Intrepid, now a museum, a one-time aircraft carrier. This ball lands into this parking lot over here, right across the street. So after Sam picks up on a scent from the Intrepid, leads him to this point. Where you first see the High Line. Sam gets a little overzealous and makes a mistake by chasing the deer right through here. So when running along right here, you can see this area is all redone. It's all new since the movie. transformed. Right now I'm on the High Line. which is located on the west side of Manhattan. It runs from 34th Street to Gansevoort Street, mainly along 10th Avenue. It was a disused spur line of the old New York Central Railroad. Turned park back in 2009, 2 years after the release of I Am Legend. He lands right here. Some obstruction. Basically get the idea. Pretty crazy. This area has changed quite a bit since production. But you see those buildings down the street there match up perfectly. 12 blocks to the north of where he first entered the building, which was also along the High Line. Evacuation scene. People would have been lined up over here where Will Smith's character demanded that the soldier scan his wife again. See some of this in the background here. Crazy stuff. People were lined up all over this area around Christmas time. All hell broke loose around Christmas time. In New York City, Christmas time, it's a beautiful spectacle to experience. One of a kind, special. However, it can get a little stressful and a little crazy. And Dr. Neville's military escort, there's a guy named Daryl Foster playing that loyal soldier. He's actually a friend of Will Smith and his trainer. He actually taught him how to fight for Ali, and he's worked with several celebrities over the years. Pretty cool. approaching Grand Central Terminal. This is where the unforgettable scene took place. Right here. It's going to be very difficult to line up the exact shots, obviously, because of traffic. I didn't get a permit to shut down the road for filming. I'm exercising a lot of caution between the vehicle. I am a trained professional. Do not try this at home. I think. Self-trained professional. I know what I'm doing. No, all jokes aside, I really do. So when you're doing anything dangerous, you got to keep two things in mind. You got to watch out for your safety and, of course, the safety of others, because what you do affects everyone and everything else, especially for something like this. And there would have been Fred right in front of the statue of Cornelius Vanderbilt.
What the hell are you doing out here, Fred?
He would have walked down here disillusioned, with his mind playing tricks on him, swearing he would have saw Fred move, and of course wondering how in fact he was able to move from Tower Video over to Grand Central Station on his own. Maybe he took a cab. Nope. Nope. That was not what happened. Speaking of cabs, that CGI hole in the window would have been right there, just to the right of Cornelius Vanderbilt. Fred!
Fred, if you're real, you better tell me right now.
You better answer me right now, Fred. Oh, down goes Fred.
Damn it, Fred! Damn it!
Yep, right here. Right in this very spot would have been where the puddle was collected, where the trap was set. And ultimately, he walked right into. He had to crawl back to his vehicle. But yeah, that dramatic scene went down right here. Awesome stuff. Again, a little difficult to line up the exact shots, of course, but doing the best I can here. But yep, he would have been parked more or less here. Kind of an animal lover. This was pretty brutal. He lost his loyal companion who saved his life. Samantha, the dog. The hero, right here. All right, I think we got enough footage on this one. Very cool. right in that instant, his faith was completely restored. And he understood why Anna and Ethan had showed up when they did. He was at his low point, all faith was lost. And then fate reached out and lent a hand. That was really cool. I'm a firm believer in everything happening for a reason. And in this particular story, you had Robert Neville working endlessly to find a cure for this virus. That was basically the moral of the story, and continuing to do the right thing when things are at their worst can be a very lonely undertaking, even through all the hardships he endured. And eventually he prevailed. I thought it was really cool to vicariously experience what it would be like to be the last person on Earth in, of all places, Manhattan, which again is mind-boggling how they were able to pull this off. I mean, you talk about hard work. Anyone who has either lived in, been to, or knows anything about the city, especially Manhattan, even at the height of the pandemic, it never totally stops. You know? And the fact that they were able to go in and around Midtown Manhattan and get a lot of these shots there to make it really appear to be a complete dystopian wasteland, incredible. Absolutely incredible. The closing scene was shot in Mount Airy, New Jersey. It's a little bit over an hour away from New York City. Now, I couldn't make the trip, but I will show some images here on Google Maps where you get the idea. Right here on Country Road 601, basically heading towards the main intersection in the small town. Really interesting, really cool stuff. You know, solid movie. And I really enjoyed visiting all these New York City locations and putting this video together. So I hope you feel the same way. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.